We start with a review of naked eye observations. Naked eye refers to anything that you can see unaided, that is, without telescope or binocular. The goal of this lecture is to catalog everything we can see with the naked eye. What is the most obvious thing in the sky? There is a big, bright, moving object in the sky. We call it the sun, or Sol. Sun is the English or Germanic name. Sol is the Latin name. Standing on the ground or out at sea, the Earth looks flat. It is easy to see when you go to Kansas how people developed the concept of a flat Earth. This course will present observations that dispel the concept of a flat Earth. We also notice the sun moves, and there are periods of time when the sun goes below the horizon or rises up from the horizon. Since we have no sense of our own motion, we assume the sun is moving. Our notion of sunrise and sunset imparts the cause of the motion to the sun and not the motion of the earth. The ancient people weren't really sure where the sun went and invented myths about the sun being swallowed by a dragon or falling into the sea. When the sun is not in the sky, there are periods of darkness. We call this night. But night is not completely dark. There is another large object in the night sky, the moon, its Germanic name, or Luna, its Latin name. In Greek, it is known as Selene. The shape of the moon seems to change. We call the changes phases. We also notice the moon seems to change size. Sometimes it seems larger than others. The supermoon refers to when the moon seems larger in the sky than normal. At night, there are points of light, the stars. In a large city, very few stars are visible. If you go to areas where the sky is not as polluted by city lights, you can see thousands of stars. Under really dark skies, the view is spectacular. This is the sky of the ancient astronomers. They were in awe of all of its splendor. This is the sky of the myths and legends, not the sky we see from large cities now. If we continue to watch the sky night after night, we notice there seems to be a point in the sky that the stars seem to rotate about. The image shows a camera image, but this motion is easily discernible with the naked eye. There is a star close to the center of the circle, the North Star, or Polaris. We will discover that Polaris wasn't always as close to the pole as we see now, and in the future, different stars will be the pole star. On rare occasions, objects were seen in the sky that moved and had long tails. Comet comes from a Greek word meaning wearing long hair. They were considered both good and bad omens. They, of course, were good omens if you won a battle, and a bad omen for the loser. Every once in a while, sometimes in low numbers, sometimes in groups, streaks of light were seen in the sky. We call these meteors, from the ancient Greek meaning rays from the ground, hanging, lofty. Originally, it was thought that they were of atmospheric origin. The term falling star and shooting star came much later. The name meteor has the same root as the term meteorology, the study of the atmosphere. We now know that meteors are caused by small particles about the size of a grain of sand that burn up in the atmosphere by friction. Sometimes larger pieces reach the ground. These are known as meteorites. In space, these objects are known as meteoroids. In later lectures, we will discuss implications of being struck by larger objects. If you have very dark skies and very good sky conditions, you will also see a faint glow before sunrise or after sunset. This is called the zodiacal light and is seen only near the zodiac, hence the name. Zodiac actually means circle of little animals and has the same root word as the word zoo. Space around Earth is filled with dust, which reflects the sun's light and causes zodiacal light. We will discuss the zodiac and zodiacal light more in coming lectures. Watching the sky over time reveals that several objects are seen to move in the sky differently than the stars. They were called planets for wanderers. These 7 wanderers are the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. The term planet included what we now call the planets Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn, but it also included the Sun and Moon. We will have more to say about the motion of the Sun and Moon later. For now, let's concentrate on the other 5 wanderers. Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are not naked eye objects and are not included in our discussion now. Mercury appears somewhat reddish, but is also very close to the Sun. Most of the time it is hard to see. It is usually only seen at its farthest from the Sun. Mercury corresponded to the Greek god Hermes. Mercury gets its name from the winged messenger of the gods. He was also the god of thievery, commerce, and travel. Most likely, the planet got its name from the fast rate at which it moves in the sky. Also never straying far from the Sun is the planet Venus. The old poem is really referring to Venus. Venus is the 3rd brightest object in the sky behind the Sun and the Moon. On really dark nights, when there is no moon, the light from Venus will cast a shadow. Sometimes Venus is seen in the morning before sunrise, and sometimes Venus is seen in the evening sky after sunset. Venus was the Roman goddess of love and beauty, so it is a fitting name for the brightly shining planet. The only objects in our solar system brighter than Venus are the Sun and the Moon. Ancient civilizations thought that Venus were 2 different objects, the morning star and the evening star. Lucifer in the morning sky, Venus was seen only after sunset. Lucifer means light bearer and was never a name used for the devil until the 1600s and the King James Version of the Bible. It was actually a mistranslation that associated the name of Lucifer with the devil. Other civilizations have also associated the planet with love. The Babylonians called the planet Ishtar, after their goddess of womanhood and love. Mars is distinguished by its bright red color. Unlike Mercury and Venus, Mars can venture far from the Sun and can be seen opposite the Sun in the sky. Astronomers call this opposition. Mars moves quickly in the sky and returns to the same place in the sky in less than 2 years. Mars is named after the Roman god of war. The planet got its name from the fact that it's the color of blood. Other civilizations also named the planet for its red color. Jupiter is very bright, but not as bright as Venus. Like Mars, Jupiter can be seen in opposition. Jupiter moves slowly with respect to the stars, taking almost 12 years to return to the same position in the sky. Jupiter was the Roman god of the gods. Consider that Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. It makes sense that the planet was named after the most important god. Saturn is another giant planet and can also be seen in opposition. Bright, but not quite as bright as Jupiter, Saturn is seen as yellowish. Of the 7 wanderers, Saturn moves the slowest, taking almost 30 years to return to the same position in the sky. Saturn was named after the Roman god of agriculture and harvest. While the planet may have gotten its name from its golden color, like a field of wheat, it also had to do with position in the sky. According to mythology, the god Saturn stole the position of king of the gods from his father Uranus. The throne was then stolen by Jupiter. While not initially recognized as a planet, Earth is the only planet not named after a Roman god or goddess, but is associated with the goddess Terra Mater, Gaia to the Greeks. In mythology, she was the first goddess on Earth and the mother of Uranus. The name Earth comes from Old English and Germanic. It is derived from earth and eartha, meaning ground. Other civilizations all over the world also developed terms for our planet. The days of the week were named after the 7 objects in the sky. Sunday is the sun's day. Monday is the moon's day. Tuesday is the name after the Norse god Tus, or Mars, and so is Tuesday. Wednesday is the day of the Germanic god Woden, also known as Odin, or Mercury. Thursday is for the Norse god Thor, or Jupiter, so is Thor's day. Friday is for the Anglo-Saxon goddess Frigga, or Fry, or Venus. Saturday is named after the Roman god Saturn. From here on, the term planet will only refer to Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and the planets unknown to the ancients, Uranus and Neptune, but not Pluto. We will study much more the characteristics and properties of all the planets and why Pluto is not considered a planet in later lectures.